Listen.
Do you mind if I put my 2 cents in?
No, honey, I don't mind. Call the police immediately.
I don't get it.
No idea what you're talking about. Yes? Hello? Hi, stranger.
I want ham and eggs and flapjacks with lots of butter and syrup and coffee. I'll take the coffee now.
Why have you come here tonight? Rain.
Where's my dough?
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Vibes and Stuff Live in the Morning. It's your host, Chuck Allen, with your host, Uncle Freezy, coming to you live on a Monday, a Monday, January 23rd, 2023.
Bam, 23.
Yes, sir. How you doing this morning, Vibrant Ones? How y'all doing?
Man. Hi, man. I'm frustrated as a hey, I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro. Technology is something, bro. Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Technology is something. Yeah, it's got me.
Soul Finger 1-2 in the building. Salute the Soul Finger. For those who wasn't able to join us on Saturday, man, we chopped it up. We dissect a film classic or classic film, Silence of the Lambs. Definitely go check that out on the Vibes and Stuff channel. It was myself, Uncle Freezy, and Soul Finger 1-2. So definitely check it out. I think it's worth watching. We really dig into these characters, the story arc. Man, it was a wonderful conversation, man. So definitely check that out. S. Brooklyn in the building. Salute, sir. So what about technology has you frustrated? What has you saying, F it?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's just stuff, bro. It's just stuff, man. You know, you try to figure out one thing, and then it'd be like, it's crazy. It's crazy, but you know, you should command it, and it's like you can't. So you just be like, it's just weird. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Is
man.
Is that, bro? You like, you be like, I'm tired of taking all these L's, bro. Can something work? My Knicks suck. It rained all day yesterday. Doggone technology suck. Hey, man, just like, one of the moments.
It's just one of them days that a content creator goes through.
Yeah,
when you're angry inside, don't want to take it out on you. Well, I mean, man, as the saying goes, when it rains, it pours. Technology, man, is a beast, but the way things are to where they were 20 years ago, technology is only getting better.
Yeah.
And so we must
accept not really for some stuff.
Yeah. I agree. Some things have a little bit of a steeper learning curve than others. But what you gonna do? I mean,
when?
Yeah. Shout out to those New York Knickerbockers. showing us why we need to blow that whole thing up. Moving on.
Yeah, man.
So so your weekend was spent dealing with technology, battling the element, and mentally watching the Knicks underperform.
At this point, man, I mean, at this point, I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro. At this point, let me first do this. Let me ask you what's in your cup, and then we can get to it, right? Let me do this. All right. Hey, it's just so I have tea this morning. I have tea this morning. I mean, I'm showing the cup, but it's you can't see what's in there. But in terms of Knicks basketball, I'm not really frustrated with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really frustrated with that. In terms of getting the show to a better place, I'm definitely frustrated with that. Because I feel like we got a good thing going on, and we just can't get to that place, and it might be because of me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to figure that out, and I'm not feeling sorry for myself or nothing like that. I'm just saying I'm at a place where I feel like I should be able to crank this thing up and rock with it. Show was dope, bro. The show was dope. Some of the conversations we've been having, the show was dope. I feel like you're a dope host. I feel like I can do a little something. Hear
this guy.
I feel like I'm the anchor, bro. I feel like I'm the anchor, like weighing it down, like it's ready to take off and fly, and I'm dragging it down, and I can't figure it out. But we'll get there.
Of course. All good things come to those who persevere. I'm not going to say wait. You have to persevere. You have to go through. You got to keep moving.
Keep running. Hey, man, South Brooklyn, Alpha Griffin, Soulfinger. What's good, y'all? Good to see y'all, man. It's good to see y'all.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
I have a random thought.
Oh boy, Chuck has a random thought. Let me cue up the music.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry.
What's good, boss?
This weekend we reviewed Silence of the Lambs.
Okay.
Right. And it's a very interesting story. I'm not going to rehash it. I'm telling you guys, go Vibes and stuff on YouTube. You'll see the video, click on it and watch it. It's in my opinion a very thorough breakdown of each character, and so forth and so on. So as watching this movie, as human beings, do we need other people? Whether that is to motivate us, because in this movie, the protagonist and the anti-hero, I'll call him the anti-hero, they needed each other. For motivation. Dr. Lecter hadn't had a challenge in years, right? He's sitting there rotting in a cell. Here comes this opportunity to, one, be a doctor again. Because throughout this whole thing, as we established in our breakdown of the movie that is on Vibes and stuff, he was psychoanalyzing her the whole time. And he was helping her without her even knowing he was really helping her, right? She helped him by motivating him. He's in jail for life. What motivation is there to do anything? He hadn't seen the sky in forever.
Yep.
They're in a basement. People like that, people with those types of borderline personalities need mental stimulation. So when I look at that dynamic, I'm like, do the average person needs a mentor? And as a mentor, do you need as an older person, do you need a mentee? Someone that you can pass your knowledge on to.
Okay.
So I kind of boiled it down to very simple. Do people need each other?
That is interesting. Do people need each other? All right. So what type of people need each other?
Anybody, everybody.
Like what type of need are you talking about? Are you talking about a communal need, a sexual need, some type of mental stimulation, or acceptance?
Well, I wouldn't say acceptance, because we're living in the acceptance era. I'm hearing this a lot more now than ever. A bunch of people, I don't need a man, I don't need a woman. I can do this all on my own. I get it out the mud. We don't need anybody. And
that's a lie.
And right. And I feel like that's BS.
How they gonna say I don't need? Here they go, Chuck. I don't need. Look. I don't need nobody. I'm good on my own. How you don't need nobody and you on every social media app ever created? How you don't need nobody and you mad because somebody disliked your post on Facebook? Who she think? Who Sharice think she is? I'm gonna tell her about herself when I see her. But you don't need nobody.
You don't. Right. So the reason I'm saying this is because the right people in your life can bring the most out of you. Right. Like even sometimes a woman can be a motivating factor in making a change. Yeah. Positively or negatively in your life.
Or negatively.
Right. Like you could be a guy with a lot of potential, but you don't have the go get it type of attitude. You just sit and wait. But then here comes this woman, walks into your life that is out of your league. But for some reason, she's giving you the time of day. And in order to keep her, you step your game up.
Now we talking.
Right?
Now we talking.
So
yeah, what does out of your league mean?
You were 5 and she at 8.
Well, who doing the judging?
You a stock boy, and she's an executive at one of these high paying offices over here.
Yeah, now we talking because a stock boy could be a 10.
He could be,
because it depends on perspective.
Right, but he's not a 10. He's not a 10.
In
he's
stock
an average
boy
guy.
world,
He's an average guy. He's an average guy, and there's nothing wrong with that. Most of us are average people. You're right. He's an average guy, has an average job, but he has so much potential from his bosses to the people that know him intimately. Like, yo, man, such and such. If he could just get his head on right, man.
Right.
Man, that dude will go places. I don't know why he working at such and such. He just need to buckle down.
Chuck, if I may,
yes,
I know a dude. I met a dude named Matt, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know a dude named Matt, right? Mm-hmm. A dude. His mom was a Russian immigrant. She came over. She met an American dude. He brought her. They got married. He brought her over here. Whatever. Pop Dukes passed away. They didn't have nothing. They pooled their money together and they built a company, right? Company probably worth like in today's money, because back then they was probably worth about $4 million. So now they probably worth like $6 million, right? Because they were grown when I met them, right?
Right.
When people, so Matt went from being like nothing growing up, just getting on the school bus, everyday people like myself, to by the time I met him, nice suits, nice tailored suits, dress shirts, nice and crispy. None of them. You can tell a duffer when you see one, because a duffer is wearing a suit off the rack. The shoulders ain't fitting right. You know what I'm saying? The bottom of the jacket ain't the proper length. It's probably too long. The sleeves too long. The chest area probably too small. So when I saw Matt, I was like, that's somebody, right?
Right.
Because I noticed his suit was tailored and his dress shirt was crispy. He didn't have on like that some cheap $40 dress shirt. He had on, when I saw his dress, I was like, okay, this dude is in money. I could tell his dress shirt is like $150. You know what I'm saying? He have like no duffer, no go in JCPenney and they got 1,000 dress shirts in there. And you just pick out one that might be your size, right? Nah, not him. I talked to him, right? I'm talking to him. And he had the feeling like he was like a 5. He's like, man, I ain't no, man, I'm just regular. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay. So you and your mom putting on this event. You in here with a tailored suit on, expensive shoes, right? And I know you don't just rise to the occasion. This is how you do every day because of the way that you went. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to read. Like, I can read people. Like, I know people. Like, I know when they fronting and I know when, you know what I'm saying, this is who they are, right? So that's one of my superpowers. I can read people, right? So I see him, I'm like, yo, he like, you know, I'm talking to him. Me and him like kind of isolated because I'm comfortable in this environment, even though I don't belong. And he belongs in this environment, but he's not comfortable, right? I'm talking to you like, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm just prying this room, man. All these people in here with all this money. I'm like, man, just because you don't have as much money as them, don't mean that you don't belong. Like, bro, I'm legit in the room with you, and I know you have money. I can smell it.
Mm-hmm.
You have money. The cologne you wearing is unfamiliar. It's expensive. You got an expensive cologne. I know cheap cologne because cheap cologne has a sweet tinge to it, and it's not because of its cheap cologne. It's because of the way it's made.
Right.
Cheap cologne have like a sweet finishing note to it. At the end, you're like, yeah, that's countertop right there. Right? That's belt cologne he got on. I can tell. Like when I'm around dudes, I can smell it. Yeah, that's $70 out of Belk right there. That's not $400 cologne right there. Most dudes don't buy $400, $600 cologne. You know what I'm saying? They buy the knockoff version of the name brand. You know what I'm saying?
Usually, yeah.
Yeah. Because it's what we can afford. I'm not knocking it. It's just what we can afford. Right? But when I talk to him, he's saying that he's a 5, but to me, he was a 10 because it was about my perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like I see this dude, everything on him is he had a watch on, right? Then I can see that his gold watch had gold gears all the way through it. You know, like the clear watch base where you can see the gears in the back.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, that watch is gold all the way. It's not the mall $600 watch where it's gold plated and then underneath everything is titanium or aluminum. You know what I'm saying? But for a $600 watch for some of us is an expensive watch.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But for him, I saw his watch. I was like, okay, this dude is here in the money. But he felt like he was an average Joe, right? But to me, and I learned, and listen, I learned all these patterns and behaviors not because I'm somebody special. It's because I was that guy too that felt like I'm a 5 in a room with 10s. So I know all the little tricks and nuances and all that stuff. And so when I talked to him, and then we finally exchange information, right? You know what he tells me? He's like, yo, I pull out one of the stock business cards. You know, we fancy. We like, and you know how you get your business card or whatever, and you know, when you first start your business, you want 1,000 business cards for $29.99, right? But when you trying to impress clients, you get 100 business cards for $1. I mean, for $100. Each business card costs $1 a piece. It's like you impress somebody, you doing something. It's laminated. It's got the gold leaf print on it, right? It's got, you know what I'm saying, a scan code on it where you could scan it and it take you to the website and all this type of stuff.
Right.
So he asked me for my card, right? So I pull out my card and it's like the fancy one. Guess what he do, Chuck? This is how I know he was somebody that thought he was a nobody. When I pull out my card, I offered to hand it to him. He like, nah, just set it down on the bar. I was like, man, I ain't set my card down no greasy bar. He was like, man, listen, y'all bought them expensive cards. You need to save it to give to somebody else. He takes out his phone and takes a picture of my card and saved it in his phone. Right? Mm-hmm. Somebody that's a nobody would have took that card and put it in a what's the name jacket and wouldn't have saw that card again until they got back from the dry cleaners. That's why I'm saying. I want to get back to your point, but
my point wasn't necessarily. That was an eloquent way of breaking down, or explaining how someone's perception can make them, you know, whatever. I'm talking about their looks. That's it.
Oh,
That's it.
man, why you ain't say that? I don't be looking at men like that. Why you ain't say that, man? I don't be looking
Because
at
you was
like that.
because one, it was important for you. It was important for you to say those things. Because
But Matt look what is outstanding though. In
say-
terms of
say
what
that
he
one
looked
more
like
time.
physically, all I remember he half Russian and he had black hair. But his appearance though,
Right. Right.
damn.
Absolutely.
But the point that you were getting at was the do we have a sense of belonging? Do we need somebody? Right.
Right. Because I hear the saying all the time, yo, I did it all on my own. But then when you not even do the research, but when you look at it, like, yo, you ain't get no help along the way at all. Like, nobody helped you out. Nobody showed you how to do this. You just, boom. And that don't necessarily be the case all the time. I know that just from that movie, I was like, yo, sometimes you need someone to motivate you, to help you get to another level.
Okay.
And as an older individual, you have something that can help someone else. So are you keeping the ecosystem going round and round? Because when you say you don't need anybody, or I don't need no girl telling me, I don't need no woman telling me what to do. I don't need no man telling me what to do. And there's situations where you could have used that voice.
So are we recognizing that this person may not know what they need? Because sometimes we need something we don't know we need it.
Right.
And then sometimes we don't need anything, but we clamor out for help as if we need everything. And all the help that you need is in the power of this, and what's in here.
Right. And sometimes it takes someone to point that out. And sometimes it takes a person like, oh, I need this, I need that, and then it takes a person to go, hey man,
Snap out
you
of
got
it.
all that stuff. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Get it together.
Right.
Sometimes, you know, I'm just thinking, because a lot of the younger guys, man, the OGs didn't pass down any information to us, man. They ain't school us or nothing.
Right.
So now, you know, they can't feed the next generation because they haven't been fed.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, so if we're not talking to one another, is it the young guys feeling as if they don't need the counsel of the older generation? Is the older generation feeling like, this is my knowledge, I got it, you get it the best way you can?
Right.
Because again, looking at the movie with different eyes, and how we pointed out that Agent Sterling and Hannibal Lecter were one and the same. Like they had the same personality.
Okay.
Right? she didn't think so because she's FBI agent. You're a serial killer. There's no way
Captain Crunch gotta die. Fruit Loops gotta die. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I feel you.
So everybody needed something from someone. Every person in that movie needed something from someone. The big boss coming to get her because he needed something from her. He needed her to get close to a guy that no one else could get close to, right?
Right.
She needed this to prove to herself that she belonged and she could do it, right?
Okay.
The doctor wants everybody to believe he's a great doctor. He needs people to believe this.
Okay.
Like he needs this fame. That's why he's so. Well, what are you guys here for? Isn't that case over with? Right.
Right.
And Dr. Lecter needs her to fulfill something on the inside of him.
Right.
He was a renowned psychologist. So he's used to helping people. Who is he helping now? I mean, he's done what he's done. He is who he is. But being a doctor is part of him too. Right?
Okay.
So now you get this doctor who needs a patient.
Right.
She doesn't know she needs his help.
Right.
Outside of the case.
Okay.
But he recognized, like you pointed out, he recognized instantly, I'm dealing with another me.
Yep. A sociopath. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And he pushed those buttons to get the best out of her. You want to get the best out of you? You got this thing blocking you. And we need to find out what this thing is. And he assumed it was molestation.
Yeah.
Wasn't.
Right.
It was another traumatic thing. So not rehashing I don't want to do another breakdown.
Yeah.
But
yeah. No. I got you. But what he didn't know was that she was lying.
Right.
So she was lying to him. She was talking about the lambs. The lambs thing was a lie. Right. She just made that up, you know what I'm saying, to get him to buy, because she's a sociopath.
Right.
Because think about this. She said the lamb was too heavy to carry, so she only made it a few miles. That didn't let you know right then that was a lie? And then they came back and got the lamb. They took her away, and he said, well, what happened to the lamb? She said, well, they killed it. If they took her away, how would she know exactly? She could say, well, I assume that they killed it.
Right.
Yeah, she a sociopath, bro. She did whatever it took just to get help from. But in terms of your thing about do people need? Yes. People need community. It's not good. Isolation is not good. And it's taught to you at an early age, right? Mm-hmm. Isolation is not good, right? When you mess up when you're young, people teach you the one thing that is worse than anything else on earth is to be by yourself. You get taught that early. Parents, man, you talking back to me like, go to your room. Meaning go to your room and be by yourself for a certain amount of time. Right? if you commit a crime, right? If you commit a crime, you an adult or whatever it is. Like you do something wrong, go to jail or go to this certain such and such place and be isolated from everybody else. Right? It's not good for people to be by themselves. And we learned that at an early age, people use that as a form of punishment. You know what I'm saying? When you're in school, you 5 years old, and the teacher tell you to stop pulling little Susie hair, and then you put glue in little Susie hair, you know what they do? They put you in the corner. Go over there in that corner and stay there and don't move. Or go to the principal office. Isolation, like being by yourself, is not good. Even it's biblical also. Like, and I hate to Bible beat people to death, but it's not good for man to be alone.
Right.
That's the word. Because when you're alone, that means you're lonely.
Yes, sir. So, Unc has answered the question of my random thought. We need
I want to get, you know, let me see.
You want it? Okay.
Okay, here we go. Now I want to. All right. So for those keeping track, the quote that I use, you can find it in a Bible. Is Genesis 2nd chapter 16th verse. For those keeping track, right? You know, to think that, man, oh, he just made that up out the blue. Nah, I ain't make that up out the blue. That's real, right? Not the Bible beat people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing that. I don't do that. That's not my. I'm not a preacher or a Bible scholar. But Genesis 2nd chapter 18th verse says, and the Lord God said, it's not good that the man should be alone. I will make him an helpmeet for him. That's for those. Now, there is other context and everything that go with it. Hey, listen, that's not my thing right there. I'll wait till Pastor Jay come on or see if we have another guest that's more qualified to speak to that. But I do know that I read that before, right? And my thing is, though, I think we take other things, other catchy sayings to verbally medicate our emotions. Right? Like sometimes we'll verbally medicate our emotions with catchphrases. I don't need nobody. I'll get it out the mud. Or women in the 60s and 70s used to say, I don't need him. I can do bad all by myself. Sure you can. So you verbally medicate your emotions with catchphrases and sayings to make yourself feel better. But ultimately, do you really feel better? No. Because if you really felt better, you wouldn't have had the outburst or whatever. Because if you notice people that are confident and that are well emotionally and well physically, they don't have and well mentally, they don't have the outbursts and the odd catchphrase sayings. You ask them how you doing? And they'll respond, I am well.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. South Brooklyn said, I never thought about that. Hey, man, listen. Human beings are not meant to be by themselves, man.
No.
They're just not. Just not. Right? They're just not. Because if you notice, a lot of human beings will cluster up and form mega metropolises. right? It's not because of a job or say lifestyle. It's because, for the most part, people like to clump up. It's the reason why. It's the reason why every time you ask a person about people, they always talk about a certain group of people, whether it's religion based, whether it's race based, whether it's age based, whether it's some type of social economic thing like high school, city mouse, country mouse, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, people clump up. And what they do and I think what we do, Chuck, is we use terms like common, COMMON, right? Like we use words like common, like Bobby and Whitney. We got something in common.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We know what those two had in common, but that's a topic for another day. You smoke crack, don't you? So, yeah, man. I feel like you didn't want to go there, and I drug it out into deep water.
No, this is good. I wasn't looking to go here, but I'm glad we're here. I'm glad we're here. I'm glad we're here because the reason for Genesis 2:18 is because God was creating everything and having Adam name it. And he was like, wait a minute. The birds of the air and the fish of the sea all have someone, except the Son of Man. He has no one. Got to make him somebody. He has to have a partner too.
Except the Son of God. The Son of Man wasn't there yet.
Son of God, you're right.
Yeah, the Son of God. The Son of Man wasn't there yet. See, because it wasn't nobody to do the hibbity jibbity with yet. So,
okay.
Yeah. 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 But so are you speaking to a communal thing? Is that a man saying? Is that women saying? Or is that something like maybe it's a universal thing that may have been taken out of context?
I think it's one of those things. Wait, we're talking about I don't need anybody. Is that taken out of context?
Yeah.
Well, absolutely. It's absolutely what you said earlier. It's a coping mechanism.
Okay.
Because I watch people talk themselves out of situations, or put up these walls because they feel like they don't qualify for certain situations.
Okay.
Like people that automatically disqualify themselves from marriage.
Okay.
I don't need no ring on my finger. I don't need nobody telling me what to do. But in all honesty, you're not qualified to be nobody's partner.
Okay.
You know, and you know that. So you put up, or you set standards that no one's going to meet. So you're able to say nobody will meet my standard. Right? Okay. I believe you say something long enough, or you say it in such repetition, you start to believe it. and you start to believe that it's true. So if you spend most of your life saying how you don't need anyone, and how everyone around you is saying you don't need anyone, you can do it by yourself. You start to believe that, and that's not true.
Right.
As much as we, slaves needed someone.
Yeah.
When they ran, they needed it. It couldn't have just been all slaves, a part of the Underground Railroad.
Right.
It wouldn't have worked. They needed those white allies that they had at the time. I think things have gotten so socially awkward that you can't even be around, because everybody's in the fronting game.
Wow.
I got my look at my marvelous life. Look at all of the great things that I'm doing. Look
wow,
at
that's
this.
a pretty expensive phone there you got there, partner. You hit the Powerball over the weekend. What's happening?
What happened?
Oh man, flashy. Hey man, okay, I see you, boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. I don't know what you're talking about, but
okay.
yeah.
All right.
Nah, man. Damn, I lost my train of thought just that quick. You talking about?
Okay. So we talking about getting it out of the mud. We talking about individuals saying that they don't need anybody, and then you use the example of people showing themselves on social media, and in a sense saying they don't need anybody, but they are yearning for everybody.
Yes.
I don't need nobody, but then if they video only get like 7 views, they mad. You know
Upset.
what I'm saying? Or if they only get 5 likes, they mad.
Their feelings are hurt.
Right.
And people want to be wanted. You want to be included. You want to be liked. It's human nature. Like, no one wants to just be unliked, unloved. The person people are sucking their teeth and rolling their eyes at as they approach.
Right.
Like, this moment,
Right. Right.
But like you said, we put up these walls with all of these sayings, and they don't amount to anything. Like, do you know how many friends I have? I don't need a man. They say it loud and proud for the community to hear, but then, Chuck, this is so hard by myself. Just doing. I thought you was cool. I thought everything was all right, because you don't need a man. You do.
See, that's what. So Chuck, this is the thing. Because when you first stated the point, I figured I knew where you were going, right?
Mm-hmm.
But throughout, I don't, right?
Okay.
And here's the reason why I said that I don't, because not because of what you are saying, it's because of the example. Like, what are people really looking for? So listen, if you like, for instance, if you need company, why not just say you need company, as opposed to saying I don't need nobody? You know what I'm saying?
Because you don't want the rejection. You don't want the rejection of not getting the company.
But the thing about the rejection part, because I understand where you're going with that part too, because that's what I'm thinking. Because like, yo, I ain't gonna lie. While you was talking, I was mentally in deep water. Like, you know what I'm saying? Where's Chuck going with it? Not that you don't know where you're going with it, right? But what I'm saying is people say things, and it's not the manifestation of what's in their heart. Right? Like we'll say a lot of stuff, but it's not what we really mean. So then if you ask like people to say what they mean and mean what they say, I always keep it real. That's a lie. People lie all the time.
All the time.
Yeah, you're right. Because they have to put up facades and boundaries and borders and moats and shields and all that stuff to protect the fragile product that's on the inside. Well, if you know the product on the inside is fragile, why put up barriers to protect it when you can just strengthen it? You feel me? And I know that seems like semantics, right? What do you mean? You just can't let people, Nah. What I'm saying is get stronger.
Right.
If you sensitive, don't dodge mean people, right? You don't have to dodge mean people because that's unpredictable. You never know when you're going to meet a mean person, right? But strengthen and listen, bring up your sensitivities. Not bring them up in topic of conversation, but say for instance, if you're sensitive about your physical appearance, right? Or like for instance, right? So I have a slight hinge in my walk, whatever. And now my knee is hurt, right? Right? So instead of me staying in the house all the time and dodging people, my deal is to get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. Right? I ain't gonna like just cause I got a, you know what I'm saying, a little gimp, right now I'm wounded. Right now I'm like the bear that fell down the cliff and hurt his knee. You know what I'm saying? Right now that's me, right? But instead of me like dodging people, bro, and look at that bear, look at that big bear with limping. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, man, just get stronger. And what it is, it sounds like, man, that's impossible, man. I can't do. Listen, as long as you live in, you can do a little at a time. This is me. I'm talking to me and whoever this applies to. It's like education. Like I know a lot of people that say school ain't for them. Man, school ain't for me, man. Man, they be talking, man. My mind be somewhere else. Well, listen. Just because you don't learn at the same pace as everybody, don't mean you can't learn. Learn at your own pace. You know what I'm saying? Everybody like to learn. And I have not met a human being yet that does not like to learn something new. I ain't met them yet. I mean, even all the country boys, the farm boys, all of them, man, they in their 70s, they in their 60s and 70s. You know what I'm saying? They like, man, I ain't know school ain't for me, man. I ain't about them books. But you will work the hell out of a backhoe. I bet you get a brand new backhoe that got new features on it. I bet you will sit your old farm boy self out there and learn how that backhoe work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We all have these things that we like. I know country boys, man, they can't hardly, read, write, do something. I know a few of them. And they be trying to hide it, like, hey, Uncle Freezy, read this for me, man. I left my glasses in the truck. Nah, man, I know you ain't left my glasses in the truck. You know what I'm saying? I really, bro, I know the game. I'm not a spring chicken, bro. The one thing in my life, I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot of stuff. I've seen a lot of things. Right? If you sensitive about a certain thing, you don't have to share that with the world, but you do have to acknowledge it yourself. You know what I'm saying? You have to acknowledge it. Right? Because the worst thing you can do in life is lie to yourself. If you lying to yourself when ain't nobody looking, what kind of person are you? You know what I'm saying? Like if you telling us, and now if you're dreaming and you want to be something else, that's one thing. But if you lying to yourself, that's something else. You know what I'm saying? What kind of person are you when you can't even tell your own self the truth when you by yourself? Are you that sensitive? And if you are, maybe you should acknowledge that you have a sensitivity level about a certain thing, and that one thing needs attention, and you need to bring that sensitivity thing up. That's all I'm saying. You know, it ain't rocket science. It's not say a deal where you know, I'm saying that you should go out here and throw all your guts out here for the world to see. Nah, it's not that. And life, you should be 80-20. It's a balance. You should be 80-20. It's a balance. 80% of your life should be your life. And you can share 20% of it. Share 20% of it. Right? Let other people see 20%. You don't have to let people know what toothpaste you use, where you live, your social, your telephone number. You don't have to let people know all that stuff. You let people know 20% of your life. Like maybe what you do for a living and maybe a little other stuff. But for the most part, it's 80-20. But the 80% part, you have to maintain that on a daily basis. And so it's one of them things where it's like, basically, if you have sensitivities, basically what I'm getting at, if you have sensitivities, bring up your sensitivities. Like if you sensitive about the way your body look, maybe you got fat in certain places, maybe you're a little tubby in certain places that you uncomfortable with, work on getting it down. You don't have to tell everybody you working on getting it down. Just do it. Am I off the rails or am I in the ballpark?
No, you're absolutely in the ballpark. I remember when I first started walking again. I thought it was gonna be a cakewalk. I thought I was just gonna get up, start walking. I couldn't get off the mat. There were 3 people, 2 people on each side, somebody behind me, and I couldn't do it. And that was the first time I cried like a baby in public.
Right.
Because that was the first time I was like, yo, it's not going to happen. They were right. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to be able to walk again.
But you had time, right?
That's all I had.
Right.
That's all I had was time. You know what I mean? Like, when I finally did stand, it hurt.
Right.
That's a good thing, because that means you have
feeling.
The nerves are waking up. You
Yep.
having pain. Now, here comes the biggest issue, Chuck. You're gonna have to push through that pain.
Yep.
I promise you guys, 5 steps, I will be poured down in sweat. My heart rate be like 130.
Yep.
I'm dizzy. Off of 5 steps.
Yep.
All right, yo, we did good. We did good. That's enough. No, it's not. We're gonna take a break. And we're going to do this again.
Yep.
We're going to take another 5 steps. Why? Because I know that, 1, my stamina is weak. Y'all already told me my nervous system, my nerves, are telling my brain I'm para.
Yep.
But my body is moving. And I'm exerting energy that is not of a para. And now there's a conflict. You're gonna have to fight through that.
Right.
You're gonna have to build up your stamina. You're gonna have to build up your endurance. And it took me a while, man. It took me a year to walk 300 feet. It took me a year to walk 300 feet, unassisted, no breaks, no stopping. And that was me every day. Like I have to do this. It hurts. It hurts every time I did it.
Right.
But I had to, because if I didn't, y'all would be meeting me in a wheelchair.
Yep.
That's big facts. Do you know how much easier life was getting around in a wheelchair? Then I had a power chair for a minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
a breeze, bro. It's like a little car.
Yes. I can go anywhere I need to go. I just need to plug this in for a couple hours and I'm good to go.
Yep.
Man. And had I stayed in that state, I would have never done it because it hurt.
Right.
Like it hurt. It's a lot of work. I got to get oxygen afterwards.
Yep. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to your insecurities, you got to face them the same way.
Yep.
You got to face them the same way. Why? Like it doesn't. Rejection is tough. No one likes to be rejected. Walking up to a girl, hey, can I get your name and number? Ew, get out of here.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, Chuck, you know what though? Let me just say this. So you took 300 steps and had to get oxygen, right?
5.
But you know what? You know what a world-class sprinter does? After they finish, the gun goes off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they run as fast as they can for 100 meters, right? And then guess what they do when they cross the finish line? They gas for oxygen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they gas for oxygen.
Absolutely.
You know what a big defensive tackle does when he pick up a fumble and run it back 70 yards the other way for a touchdown? When they put the camera on him, you know what he over there doing? He got the man. Hi, mom. Hi, mama. Hi, mama. He got the oxygen mask on his face.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And so what I'm saying, I guess it's a life lesson. But what I'm saying to everybody out there is your goal plus time equals accomplishment.
Yes.
Right? Because it don't matter how much time.
Right.
Right? And it doesn't matter how big the goal is. Because if you have a goal and motivation and time, it don't matter how much of each equals what. As long as it equals 100%, it will equal accomplishment.
Absolutely.
So it's like whatever you put your mind to, you can do it. Mind over matter.
For sure. And in that situation, I needed people, Freezy. I needed those therapists. Shout out to all the people from Mount Sinai. They would, like, if they had things that if they didn't have the equipment, I watched these young people build stuff for me, man.
Right.
Like, yo, we're gonna get you on, like, you want to do it? All right, let's do it. They're saying you can't do it, but you believe you can do it. I believe you can do it. Let's do it. And that type of motivation was extra fuel for a person like me. That's why I'm like, we do need each other.
People need each other. When's the last time you met them people? When's the last time you was in the same space?
My therapy staff, maybe maybe I want to say 8 years ago.
Right.
I used to go back every week. I was so moved. I would go back every week. There was this program called Transitions for people with newly injured spinal cord injuries.
Right.
And we would go and we would talk about life, and how to cope with being, having a traumatic spinal cord injury.
Right.
And that was every Wednesday. We would go on trips. We would go to Catskills. We'll go to Niagara.
On the
whitewater
bus?
rafting. Huh?
On the bus?
Yeah.
That's a long upstate New York, bro.
A long ride for people in wheelchairs, and we would jump out of airplanes. Well, I didn't jump out of airplanes. Right. I told Jim Cesarian, I said, nah, I'll go with you guys. I ain't doing that.
Right.
I ain't do it when I was walking. I definitely ain't doing it now that I can't.
Right. Yeah.
But that whole thing, Urban Outings, was all about motivating those that are in chairs. Like, your life don't have to stop. You can still enjoy everything, right? Everything that life has to offer. Right. And so I would do that, and of course I would run into all of those people. Then about 8 years ago, I'd stop. I stopped going.
Right. And it's for one reason or another. I'm not asking because I'm trying to dredge up old memories. What I'm saying is Chuck Allen is absolutely fine after the fact.
Yes.
Right. Now this is not just about Chuck. This is just about people in general. Because when you brought it up, this is about people in general, right? You know what I'm saying? This is about people in general. Like, I could do bad all by myself. I don't need nobody. I can get it out of the mud and blah, 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 all these different things. Man, listen, man. I get it. I get that part. And I'm not even asking you to be tough. Right? I'm asking for resiliency. And there is a difference. Resiliency is about stamina. Being tough is about what you can take.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What you can take and what you can't. I know some people that are not tough and they say they ain't tough. And I commend them for that. I'm like, man, I ain't fighting, man. You crazy. You know what I'm saying? I know some dudes and women that say they ain't tough. I saw just like sweat up and down. She was tough, right? Every time she see me, she be like doing this fake slap boxing. Come on, I ain't, blah, blah. And we was at the store, and this chick pulls up, hood style, ghetto style, jumps out the car, her and 3 other girls. I know you ain't been sleeping with my man, blah, blah, blah. This girl that was, I hadn't been knowing her for like 4 years. This girl, the tough one, runs up on the girl or whatever. That girl punches her in the chin, and you heard the most feminine gas you ever heard. Oh! And she fall on the ground, and the girl trying to jump on her, and I'm like, hey, easy. You got it. You already won. You won. Easy. You won. Ain't no need to. You got what you wanted. You want to knock her out. You knocked her out. Okay. You got what you wanted. Right? They mad. That must be your girl. She must be. No, this is called humanity. Right?
Right.
Because if y'all do, you knocked her out. Is the people that own the store should call the police. You should be going to jail, but you're not. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whatever. Right. I know the girl was hurt. She shouldn't have messed with that girl, man, or whatever. She got knocked out for it. Whatever. But what I'm saying is the thing I'm getting at ultimately is the best thing in life is knowing yourself. Right?
Facts.
knowing yourself. Because no matter how big your house is, no matter how fast or new or expensive your car is, no matter how many sets of clothes you have, you'll never be satisfied if you don't know yourself.
That's a
Period.
That's a fact.
That's just what it is.
And I think it's these sayings that have people not being honest with themselves. You know, you can lie to me all day, but you can't lie to yourself. You try to come up with these quotes and things, and I have an issue when I hear people like, yo, man, everybody hating on you. That's why you for 40 years.
Yeah.
Everybody been hating on you.
Yeah.
For 40 years. All right, man. Not to take my grandmother's quote, but something in the milk ain't clean.
Yeah.
Like, come on. And what happens is we we build up these barriers off of projection, like what we want our lives to be.
Right.
Like the guy who imitates everything he sees in a rap video. I'm gonna wear my bandana like this. I'm gonna get tattoos like this. And they portray to be tough guys until some tough happens.
You remember that song? The Roots, what they do?
Yes, what they do. Yes.
Yeah.
And now y'all riding in the car and they and everybody looking at each other like this wussy.
Basically.
And one thing about you don't have to be a tough guy to hang out with Chuck at all. You can be whoever you are,
right? Because
I'm going to treat you that way,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, it was tough growing up in Corona. Like every block you turned around could have been, man, that could have been a long way home. Like you were going to get home,
yeah,
right? Because everybody wasn't doing a whole bunch of shooting at that time.
Right.
You might get cut in the face with a razor. You might go home with both of your eyes swole, but you're gonna go home, right?
Right.
Hey man, we about to walk to the mall. Oh man, I want to come. Nah. Why I can't walk with y'all? Because you know when we go to this mall,
right,
we gonna get into a fight. That's just how it is. There's going to be a group of us. There's going to be a group of them. We get in a fight and you run, I'm beating you. Man, I ain't going to run, man. Whenever I ever run. And then you get there, something happens. Yo, where you was at? Yo, I went out the side door.
Yeah.
So you ran.
But you got to know yourself.
If you told me, but if I know you're a punk, I'm gonna tell you not to come with us because I know you're gonna run. But if you do come with us, hey man, he gonna run.
Yeah.
Don't hold it against him. That's who he is.
That's who
he gonna run. That's who Will is. Will gonna run. Not our hard Will, not hard Will, but my man Will. Like my man Will gonna run.
Right.
He's not built like that.
Right.
So we never go at Will like that because yo, he was gonna run.
But cats like that be good at other stuff. You got to have dudes like that on your team because they be good at other stuff. Like
right.
You know what I'm saying? Your team can't be 35 dudes of the same thing. Unless you're gonna wind up falling out with them because they be too much like yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Will's a straight-laced dude. Something goes sideways, Will is with us. Yeah. Nah, that guy right there is a straight up square. There's no way they were involved with that, and he's hanging with them.
Right.
Because he's too. But Will's our guy. Will live in the building.
Right.
We went to elementary school together.
Yeah.
but Will not he's never pretended to be a tough guy.
Right. He just wanted to hang out.
What you gonna do? I'm gonna run. I ain't running because I'm not fast enough.
Right.
I have to fight. So, but there were other people, man. I don't give up. I don't care who out there. Everybody getting $150. Everybody getting cut. I ain't playing.
Yeah.
And as soon as they one hit, they ghost.
Yeah.
I mean, gone. Can't find them for a couple days.
Right.
Is Deshaun here? He not feeling well.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, I know. He ain't been to school in like 3 days.
Yeah.
Because he's too ashamed to come outside. And this is what happens. People put up these facades up because they don't want to look. Everybody can't be rich, yo. Let's get this fantasy out of here. Everybody can't be rich. Everybody not balling. There ain't a bunch of Bentleys and champagne falling from the sky everywhere. Everything is not a rap video. That's one. Two, everybody ain't tough. Everybody not killers.
Right. Right.
Why is that something you want to portray anyway?
Right.
I'll leave that conversation to some of our servicemen that had to go over in dangerous places. I was never deployed anywhere dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a group of Ron. Well, let me not do that, but it's a lot of people that you know that are in that thing, me included, in that group that you just said.
Right.
So and that's why we different. So we might have one. We got one in the chat too that have been through like that thing that you just mentioned. So we look at life differently because we've seen different stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man, I disagree with you on one thing that you mentioned. It was like, I guess about 15 minutes ago now.
Yes, sir.
When you said you can't lie to yourself, I think you can. I think some people lie to themselves. And not only do they lie to themselves, they look externally for what's what I'm looking for?
Validation. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they'll lie to themselves and then they look externally for validation. Right. You know what I'm saying? I think people do that a lot. I think it's a lot more people that do that than what we recognize, that we, you know what I'm saying?
But you know,
they just have a low self-esteem.
Okay.
The esteem, like the thing about it is, you don't need a high self-esteem to function, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like some people think a lot of themselves, like myself, but I'm not arrogant, right? I'm not arrogant. That's not me. But I understand where I come from and I'm proud of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. I understand where I'm in Jersey City in 2-bedroom apartments with mice playing at night, with roaches be on the wall. You don't even want to invite your friends over because you got not big roaches either. I'm talking about like the little roaches that trying to prove themselves. Yeah, the little ones are trying to prove themselves. They so dumb. The roaches so dumb. They come out during the daytime. They hard. You know what I'm saying? Because usually roaches come out at night.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We in
the lights off.
Yes, in the bed getting bit up by roaches and mice in your cereal box. You know what I'm saying? You're like, God, man, I hate this. And then now I go outside to fancy cars and grass and joints that's paid for. And I don't brag about that. I'm saying the difference from one thing to the other makes you realize that if you just try, you can achieve stuff.
Yes.
If you try, I want God to bring it to me and put it in my lap. Not
Mm-mm.
the government. The government owe me. I need them to bring it and put the check in my mailbox. I'm not going to get the check. I want the government to put it in my mailbox. Right. Hey, this hoodie cap right here, man. I'm gonna make y'all laugh. Good morning. Hey, I'm doing vibes and stuff live. Everybody can hear you.
Really? Hello, everyone. I was on Twitter just now, and it was like, the last shaky stuff with Damian Lillard and the Trailblazers right now. And then some idiot was like, we don't want Damian Lillard. What we going to do with Jalen Brunson? I said, okay, Jalen Brunson.
Hoodie.
If you can get Damian Lillard.
I'm trying to.
Yo, Hoodie Kev, we're doing a show.
Hoodie Kev, I'm telling you, I've just told Hoodie Kev. I just said, hey, Hoodie Kev, I'm doing the show, man. And Hoodie Kev just went right into Knicks talk. Hoodie Kev, you coming in and jumping in the panel? Come on. Yes, I'm live on Vibes and stuff, live in the morning show.
Yes. Where we talk about real life issues, not Jalen Brunson.
Huh? Oh, okay. Let me call you back. He said, hey, he said hello. So let me.
What's going on, Kev?
Well, let me call you back after we wrap up in like an hour. All right. Friends, bro. This is what they do. Chuck, legit, like Chuck, hey, and Chuck laughing because I do it to Chuck. I will call Chuck at the most inopportune time. And Chuck would be like, hello. And I'd be like, God damn it, Chuck, man. I can just get straight into it. I ain't asked if he was busy. I ain't asked if he was like, if he had company. I ain't asked nothing. I just still go straight into it, man. Just go straight into it.
Hoodie Kev didn't even listen to what there's no way he heard you say that, yo, I'm doing vibes live in the morning. I heard you for sure.
Right.
Right. The vibrant ones, they heard you for sure.
Right.
But this dude just goes, I was like, yo.
Right. Straight into it. Into it, bro. That's your people's. That's your people's. And the reason why I took that, right? The reason why I even took the call is because you remember about an hour or so ago, you asked, you know what I'm saying? You talked about people being by themselves, right? Remember that?
Right.
And so the reason why I answered and said, hey, man, blah, 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 I'm doing vibes because this is who we are. We are communal, right?
Right.
We are. And so thanks to Hoodie Kev for that, man. Hoodie Kev just jumped right into Hoodie Kev was being himself. He wasn't trying to be phony. Man, Knicks fans make me sick. Talking about we don't need Damian Lillard. You know what I'm saying? So, but back to the point though that we was talking about. Yeah, man. People have these deep insecurities about it. People have insecurities, so they look for validation from others to feel like that makes them a complete person. But that doesn't make them a complete person. What makes them a complete person is knowing yourself. Because as long as you seek out validation from others, you're gonna have that hole in your spirit that can't be filled. You got to know yourself. Who are you?
Yes.
When you wake up in the morning and you take your shower and you wipe the shower glass off, the mirror off in your bathroom, and you looking in the mirror, do you like what you see?
Right.
When you looking in the mirror, are you looking at yourself? Like I know some people be in the mirror, they don't even look each other in the eye. They don't look themselves in the eye. Like they just be like, putting on spraying on anything. looking in the mirror, make sure they straight, but they don't look themselves in the eyes. Like with me, when I get in the mirror, I look myself in the eye.
Right.
You really who you say you are? Yes. I really who I say I am. Right? Right? Who are you comfortable with who you are? No. I would like to get better all the time. Yo, Cash is in the building. Cash was good. Yo, and so when I'm in the looking in the mirror, I'm looking at the man in the mirror, right? I'm looking at him, hey man. Like I have this weird sensation. My personal sensation is I always feel like I'm behind. I feel like I'm always chasing something. Right? That's my thing. I'll share that with everybody. Like I always feel like I'm chasing something. Like something is right outside of my grasp. Right? Because I feel like I threw years away in my life. Right? This is just me talking about myself. Right?
Yes, sir.
This ain't me talking about nobody else. I feel like I wasted a lot of years in my life, and I feel like I'm always behind. I gotta catch up. Right? Am I confident in who I am? Yes. Right? But do I have like certain insecurities? Yes. One of my insecurities is that I feel like I'm always behind. And I feel like the people that I want to be on the level with are light years ahead of me. So now I got it. My mind is always racing. Like, how do I catch up? How do I catch up? How do I catch up to them? Not because I want to be equal to them, but because they have achieved these things in life that I would like to achieve. Not them, the person. Because I don't want to be nobody else. I'm going to be the best Uncle Freezy I could possibly be every day. Right? But when you talk about achievement, like this dude is a full-time writer and novelist. This dude has a production company. Right? This dude has such and such. All these things that I personally want to do. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm constantly like, I get on Blowing's Tears and I understand what the goal, what my personal goal is. So I get on Blowing's Tears, and sometimes the product is like up and down, up and down, up and down. For those looking at the product, they're like, I don't know why Uncle Freezy be letting all these 1,000 people in on the chat. I don't know why Uncle Freezy, why don't you say something, man? Such and such be talking. Nobody want to hear him. All these different things that I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to learn as I go through these things so that I can attain my personal stuff. Right? I always feel like I'm behind. Right? I have dream, man, Chuck. Sometimes I don't dream much because I don't sleep much. Right? But when I do sleep, sometimes I have these dreams like I'm chasing something. Like, you ever seen What's Happening? How Rerun Chasing the Truck? I be in that scenario, and I wake up and I look at my t-shirt, man. My t-shirt has sweat all on it. Man, I've been living that dream, and it's not good. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm chasing something that's just out of my grasp. So I'm running as far as I can to try to get to that thing. Right?
Right.
Right. And so what somebody told me, gave me some advice a while ago, was like, man, you don't need to chase stuff. You need to let it go. And then if it's meant for you, it'll come to you. Right? And so I was thinking like, okay, this is a powerful dude. This dude's got a church. He got like 2,000 members. Now all 2,000 don't show up for church. You know, all 2,000 don't show up for church.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? But he got 2,000 members. You know what I'm saying? So about 400 of them show up for church every Sunday, right? Right. He's like, man, you need to stop, you know, chasing everything, like chasing the carrot, man, and just let those things that's meant to be find you. Serendipity. Right?
Okay.
Right. The thing is, I'm not wired like that. I'd have to rewire myself. Right? I mean, yo, Chuck can attest. Vibe says Chuck can attest. I called Chuck 10:30 one night, and I legit worked behind the scenes on a thing till 4:30 in the morning with Chuck on the phone. Just chasing. Right. just chasing stuff. And then got off the phone at 4:30, went in the room, right? Couldn't sleep, stayed up, watched TV till about 6 o'clock, dozed off, woke up like 7:47 so that we could do 5 and stuff live in the morning.
Yes.
And stayed up for the rest of the day, by the way. Y'all know me.
Which is wild. Because as soon as we were done, buddy, I shut my eyes because I was tired. I don't know how you do it,
bro. But it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing, though. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm saying it's a thing. Right. You feel me? It's acknowledging that you know what I'm saying? Like it's acknowledging that I'm giving advice to people because I myself understand that I am flawed as an individual. And I know sometimes what works and sometimes what doesn't work. What doesn't work and will never work is trying to be something you're not to impress people. Never works.
Right. There are two things that I want to touch on that was said in the chat. I think I want to go with Cash's first. Cash says it seems to always I seem to always see the past when I look in the mirror. And that's one thing that prevent folks from moving forward or doing things is constantly worrying about their past. Yep. Acknowledge it. Don't run from it. Acknowledge the past is the past, and then keep it moving.
Right.
You know, when you're driving a car, you're looking out the front,
the windshield.
You're looking out the windshield to see what's ahead of you. Every now and again, you may look in your rear view mirrors to make sure you're not hitting something, making sure you have clearance to get over, to pass, or to get off on the exit. It's for a quick glance. No one drives looking in the rear view mirror. Can't see where you're going.
Right.
Right. So your past, man, you gotta it may be difficult, it may be embarrassing, it may feel some type of way. But once you deal with that, once you deal with whatever that issue is, people can't hold it over your head.
Right.
That's why I say if you're doing something that you gotta hide, stop doing it.
Stop doing it.
Stop doing it.
Or if you're doing something that you gotta hide, maybe you gotta consider who you are hiding this activity from. Right? Because it kind of goes both ways, right? It kind of goes both ways, right? It's one of them things where sometimes we do stuff and we got to hide it because it may be illegal. Whatever.
Right.
I ain't here to judge nobody, right? But then sometimes we do stuff that we got to hide because we're being the best version of ourselves and we know who we are, and other people around us don't want to accept us for who we are. Like Uncle Freezy and tattoos. I remember when I first started getting tattoos, people were like, yo, I could see getting one tattoo, but man, you got 9 tattoos now. You on drugs? This is how people used to talk. This is how people used to talk in the early 90s, right? Just like 91, like 90, like 90. What you doing with 3 tattoos? What are you one of them black people that like heavy metal? This is how people used to talk 30 years ago, right?
Right.
And I was like, yo, I'm thinking about getting a sleeve. You talking about getting your whole arm tattooed? Are you crazy? This is how people used to talk in the 90s, like, right? Like, and so I felt like, you know, with the tattoos, I was covering up my tattoos. And so like wearing long sleeve shirts in the wintertime, girls like, you ain't hot. You got on a sweatshirt in the summertime. Ah. And you know what I'm saying? And what it is I had tattoos, and one tattoo was okay back in the day. But if you got like 4 or 5 tattoos back in the day, people thought, you know what I'm saying? Like you was incarcerated or something. And nothing against the brothers that's incarcerated, right? But there's a perception and a stigma from people that if you do a certain thing or look a certain way, then that you are a certain type person, and they judge you before they even know you, right?
Right.
But the thing is, though, Chuck, at that time, I didn't know myself either.
Right.
They didn't know me, and I didn't know me, right? But I was like 22, something like that. And that's in that age where in your 20s, you are a person trying to figure out who you are and do it. Try to figure out who you are as a person, because
Absolutely.
there's going to be a time where it's going to be time out for all of that, for the exploratory stuff, because then you have to start contributing.
Right.
It's like when you're a baby, you explore. You ever notice, Chuck, you put a baby down on the floor that can't walk, they be crawling everywhere.
Everywhere.
They exploring.
Getting into everything. Yes. Yep.
They exploring. Right? And then when you get out your mama house, you know what you do? You explore. Right?
Yes.
You explore, trying to find out what type of person you are, trying to find out what you like and dislike, trying to explore the limits of your freedom. Right? Right? Like, think about it. When you 24, 25, yo, Stafford Don. Stafford Don is in the building.
Gunshot.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you explore at that time out in the early 90s. I was exploring, trying to be. So I got tattoos, man. I had like my ears pierced, man. I had all kind of growing twists. I had like all kind of trying to exploring. Like, what am I really? Right?
Who am I? I know what I was raised. I know my values and principles, but who Uncle Freezy is. Like, how finding that individual, right? See, when you know who you are, here's like 7th, 8th grade, you really want to fit in with people. 9th grade, you know, now you're in high school and you want to be considered cool. And I saw how stressful it was for people.
Right.
Keeping up facades.
Right.
Fake friends.
A lot of fake friends.
Chuck was like, nah, F all that.
But some of those fake friends, Chuck didn't know they was fake.
Because they don't know
they don't know who they are.
Right. They don't know who they are. So
right.
Chuck said F all that. I like wrestling. I like WWF and I like WCW, and I'm gonna flip back and forth on Monday.
Night Raw. Yeah.
Okay. Because I grew up on WCW and AWA.
WCW.
WCW. Okay.
WCW.
I'm talking Saturday night. Everybody's crowded around this huge 25-inch TV.
Huge, bro.
Boob tube, right?
Right.
I mean, everybody.
The TV was huge, not the screen.
No, not the screen. The TV looked like a big old piece of furniture. Like, it was amazing. Tube was small. My grandmother's living room was packed. Everybody in the neighborhood, because not everybody had a TV, which is wild to believe, right?
Right.
Everybody don't have a TV in their crib. Everybody didn't have a TV.
Right.
So I know that was I like sports, but I'm not in love with sports. I don't think I'm not pursuing a career outside of high school. I knew that.
Right.
I knew that. I like talking to girls.
Right.
I started walking into who I was, not trying to be like anybody else. No, man, why you dressed like that? Aren't you from New York?
Right.
Yeah. This is comfortable.
Yeah.
And I learned the very first week of going to school down here, when you live on a dirt road, having all white Air Force Ones ain't gonna work.
That ain't gonna work.
It's not gonna work unless you plan on putting some Food Line shopping bags around your shoes and walking down the road like that.
Yeah, might be a little bit too much. But
when you know
it
who
was
you
necessary,
are,
especially on rainy days. Like if it rained
when
Sunday
it's
night,
mud,
yeah,
forget about it.
yep,
Forget about it. When you know who you are, you can pull up in a 89 Ford Escort hatchback with 210s, and everybody, oh, there goes such and such, there goes Chuck. Meanwhile, you can have a navy blue BMW 325i with the Testarossa kit, and people just walking past you.
right,
Because people F with who you are, not what you have. Things don't make you.
right,
Clothes don't make you. Damn. He stay fly, man. All he got on is a t-shirt and some jeans.
right,
Right.
right.
T-shirt and jeans don't make me who I am.
Nah,
They F with me because they F with me. Me having on all that name brand stuff that you got, it don't change nothing. It don't change. It doesn't change anything. So when you're authentically you, people can appreciate you for that.
right,
And people are going to treat you the way you present yourself.
right,
If you act like you're a baller, they're going to treat you like a baller.
right,
Hey man, you got this.
yeah,
Come on, baller man. Come on, buy these beers.
right,
You know, all baller. You're not gonna play for these. You're not gonna pay for these games.
right,
Man, it's only $12 an hour for the table. What you gonna do, man?
right,
But when you honest with yourself and you honest with people, the conversation is, hey man, I have a budget of $20.
yep,
All right. Well, my budget's only $20. So we can
Right.
play two games. We can play two games. We can, get the table for 2 hours, and we can buy as many rounds as we can with the rest.
right,
Right? That's two people that understand who they are. They ain't trying to. The thing I hate the worst is the people that brag about stuff, and you live like next door or down the street from them.
right,
You're like, you ain't got none of that shit. Why are you saying this?
right, right.
You don't got to do that. You ain't got to. Not with me.
Nah, you ain't got front.
How do you rewire? Okay, Cash got another joint. Says, how do you rewire if you're invested so much becoming the person everyone wants you to be?
You can't be that.
Mm-mm.
You can't ever be that. You can't ever be that, man. That's what I'm saying. You can't ever be the person that everybody wants you to be. You have to be the best version of the person the best version of the person that you are. Right? Like what I'm saying is if you're a person with a whole bunch of bad habits and all of that, man, and you know that's not the person that you want to be. See, you can tighten that stuff up. Changing your circle, you know what I'm saying? reading books.
For sure.
Bro, reading books. The different. Hey, you know what? A dude told me this a long time ago, right? He said, "Hey, man," I was like, "Yo, Uncle Freezy, man, you speak very well for a black guy. Are you well read?" And so I didn't know. I'm like, speak well for a black guy. What the fuck? What kind of thing is that to say to another man, right?
Yeah.
But then I thought about what was said and who it was coming from. So like, this dude is an idiot. You know, do I stoop to the idiot's level or you know what I'm saying? Is this my moment to like get my little vengeance, my little payback to the system? So I was like, yeah, I read a little bit, you know. Well, who's your favorite author at the time? Right now, I read a lot. Generally, what I do is go to the library or go to, or at the time, I'll go to Food Lion. Food Lion used to have this carousel of books that were discounted. You know how they have the book section over with the magazines, and then they have a carousel of all the books that were marked down. And I'm like, yeah, sometimes I just go on Food Lion and just grab like a novel and just do it, just read. Right? He's like, Food Lion. Yeah. And so what happens is at the time, I wasn't a Barnes and Noble cat yet. Trust, I am a Barnes and Noble cat though. But at the time I wasn't.
Right.
So but anyway, the thing is, the point I'm getting at is even when that dude asked, see, I can't impress the idiot. If I live my life trying to impress that idiot, I would still be living my life trying to impress idiots like that. Right? But you know, my thing is knowing getting to know who I am as a person, what I like and dislike, what I can do with and do without in my life. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Just because the crowd say, man, oh man, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Nah, man, I'm cool on that. I think I know who I am. Right? What you do is it's about the company you keep that makes you better. Right? What you want to do is be around or not go seek them out, but allow it to happen organically. Be around certain people. Elias, you know. The best company I've ever had is myself. You know what I'm saying? Me, I go get a book and read and do that type stuff, and then as I expanded my perimeter, it started to overlap other good guys, overlap their perimeter, and the circles. And when our circles connect, it create this vesicus piscis that, you know, is just good, just full of good information, good everything, right? And so y'all know what I'm talking about. You've seen like circles, they overlapped, and then it's that zone that looks like, you know, that oval zone. That's where you want to be with people, bro. Like, you don't want to leave your perimeter unattended and go jump in somebody else's perimeter. It don't make sense.
It doesn't.
So, yeah, man.
There was another joint, DSJ. We had to go back up. He was asking if Nick Cannon has insecurities because of all of the women he's impregnating.
Huh?
I might be paraphrasing it a bit. I'll go back. Let me go up.
I don't see that.
Crazy question. Do you think Nick Cannon knows who he is, or is he still dealing with insecurities?
I don't care nothing about Nick Cannon. Yeah, I'll let Chuck handle this one. I don't care.
I don't know. I don't know who Nick Cannon is. I'm not sure if he knows. Because early stories that I've heard of Nick Cannon before he became a movie star / mogul or anything like that. He was doing comedy in LA. And they were like, Nick Cannon was like literally going around doing everyone else's act.
Yep, I saw that.
So maybe this guy doesn't know who he is because he's been pretending to be something that he's not for a very long time.
Right.
Nick Cannon, I can't say he's a pimp. Because nobody making money for him. He's the one dishing out the money. Personally,
excuse me.
Bless.
Nick, thank you.
I believe Nick Cannon is a simp. That happens to be in the 1%. And to people who don't have, look at him like, yo, he's the man. I think that's reckless behavior, because you can tell me about all the kings and the kings of the past, kings of Africa that had multiple wives. None of these women are his wives. These are random IG chicks.
Okay.
That he having babies with. A part of me want to say his mortality is setting in because he knows he has this debilitating disease. So he may feel like his days are numbered, and he wants to leave a bunch of heirs to his legacy. Okay. But I don't look at him any different than the dude from Florida with 30 children by 11 women. I look at him the same way, like, the fuck is you doing?
Okay.
So I think it's both. I think he doesn't know who he is, and he's dealing with insecurities.
Okay.
Because you don't hear stories of a 14-year-old Dave Chappelle stealing people's jokes during their acts.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. Okay.
And then sometimes you want to break out of that what people think about you. You know, he was getting the Will Smith comparisons early. He was getting those early.
Right.
He's not the actor Will is. He had the corniness of Will. But he wasn't box office.
Okay.
Will became box office. Nick Cannon didn't want to live in that shadow, I guess, or doesn't want to live in that shadow. I don't know. I don't know what that. I'm not friends with him. I don't know him personally, but if I had to bet, I think it's both. Because I've seen him flip flop on things. one day he believes in God. The next day he's got a turban on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see.
Yep.
Let me see. Okay. So that's that. No more questions I want to
Okay.
tap into. If what I've been saying or what we've been talking about is some of you are lost and went over your heads, be yourself.
Yeah. Get to know yourself first.
Right.
Get to know yourself. Definitely.
Because when you know yourself, people can't tell you nothing about you.
Right. And then you won't have this void that you constantly trying to fill.
Right.
With stuff like cocaine and cars and chicks and houses.
Right.
And sometimes all of that together. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like a dude told me. A dude told me, man. A dude was worth probably about $100 million, right? And when I talked to him, it's like, man, what kind of, he's like, man, I'm driving the same kind of car you driving. And I'm like, man. And I cursed, and he kind of like, it's kind of shocked him a little bit. I was like, man, get the fuck out of here. You ain't driving what I'm driving. And then when I realized when he did that, I was like, oh, man, Uncle Freezy, you got to watch what kind of audience. You know what I'm saying? You got to watch. You know what I'm saying? Because you being you, like, you know what I'm saying? And this is me at that time, not knowing completely who I was. Right? I know it's gonna sound weird, but I wanted to be like him, but I didn't want to be him. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be me, but some of the things that he did, I wanted to do some of those things that he did. So he's like, yeah, what kind of? Yeah, I saw your car outside, Uncle Freezy, man. It's a nice car. It's the 300, Chuck, the silver 300 I was talking to you about the other day. And so it was like, oh. It's like, yeah, man, I apologize for the language. Sometimes I get things slip out. It's like, yeah, you got to check that, man. You got to make sure, I can fire you right now. I was like, man, don't fire me, man. It slipped out. He's like, yeah, man, did you read the HR handbook? And I was like, yeah, of course I read the HR handbook. Yeah, I got the HR handbook in the, and so I crack a joke. Of course I read the HR handbook. I'm black. Of course and he's like, he kind of called him again. He's like, what's that mean? It's like, man, I gotta be prepared. You know what I'm saying? For stuff.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So he was like, oh my God, this dude so he's smart. Okay. And so what he told basically he told me, he was like, hey man, you a sharp dude. We can't figure you out. It's like you are like a bag of rubber bands. We don't know what we getting. You are a trick or treat bag. It's like sometimes we dig in the bag and we pull out something. We're like, this is awesome. And then sometimes we pull out something like, oh, what is this? I can't figure it out. And I was like, so basically what I said was like, you guys can, if you guys take time to get to know me for who I am, you'll realize that everything in y'all trick or treat bag is still candy. It might be different types, but for the most part, that's that. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, okay, I like that analogy there, Uncle Freezy. We just, you hard to figure out because sometimes we hear you talk and it's so urban, is the word he used.
Yes.
So he didn't want to say gutter. He didn't want to say sewer. Right.
Right.
But then he's like, and then sometimes, man, we grab you and have you speak to whomever because at the same time you are so relational. Like people can relate to you. Regardless who it is or where they from, they can relate to you. And so and all of us can't do that. Maybe you have the gift of communication. And so my thing is, well, or maybe I have a gift of being human. And there's a difference. Like, I don't have to communicate with who I don't have to communicate, but I have to be human 100% of the time.
Right.
And so these conversations, like the mental chess play between a dude that grew up in Jersey City in a 2-bedroom apartment with stuff, challenges, let's call it that.
Mm-hmm.
Challenges. Right up on Van Nostrand between Ocean and Jackson. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, between Ocean and MLK. I'm sorry. It ain't been Jackson. It ain't been Mahalia Jackson Street. It ain't been Jackson Avenue probably since the 70s. But whatever. And so the point that I was getting, he was like, yo. He was like, hey, man, just whatever happens with us or going forward, just make sure you continue to be the best version of yourself. And I was like, why would you say that? He was like, because sometimes people get money and they start doing the things that they've always wanted to do. And I was like, well, are you saying that money changes people? He's like, no, money empowers people. People don't change because they get money. They've always wanted to do these things, but resources wouldn't allow them to do it. So then when they get money and you see a guy in the club throwing all his money away, he's always wanted to be that. Mm-hmm. He just didn't have the money to do it. So when he gets the money, now he has the resources to be that. Now he's the guy with 2 helicopters. Why does somebody need 2 helicopters?
Just in case one is not working that day.
Right. Because because he's the guy that always wanted to impress people.
Yes.
When he didn't have money. So maybe he told the best jokes. Right? Because jokes are free. Right?
Absolutely.
But then when you get money, all you did was give that guy who always wanted to impress people resources to do things to impress people. Right? Like you know how the people say, man, they done changed since they got money. No, they the same person. They just have resources now to do or not do the things that they want to do in life. Right. I know some people will be like, nah, man, Uncle Freezy, no. I know some people let money go to their head. No, man, they've always been that. They've always wanted to do that.
Yes.
They just ain't had no money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like dudes want to date the finest chicks on the planet, but he couldn't do it because he was a nobody. But now that he's got money, he can buy the finer clothes. He can get into these places where all the fine chicks are at. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like you've seen it. You've seen it on a smaller level. If you were a drinker, you've had homeboys that you drank with,
right? And
the whole time y'all been drinking bottom shelf. Yeah. Canadian Club.
Oh, gut, right, gut. drinking that shit that make you pump.
Yeah.
Drinking cheap liquor.
It's another one. It's another. Paul Masson.
Oh, jeez.
Things like that, right? We were drinking Paul Masson and CC and Remy Martin.
Right.
Maybe not even Remy Martin. Probably Evan Williams. Evan Williams is a cheap.
Evan Williams, yes, sir.
I used to drink Evan Williams. I couldn't afford Jack Daniels. Evan Williams was the next best thing. That, or if you really gangster, you drink some Jim Beam. But
oh my God.
I was never that gangster. Long story short, you used to getting bottom shelf, but it's tax season. And you drinking, y'all know y'all drinking in your favorite spot under that tree.
Yeah.
They show up with a brown bag, Hennessy VSOP.
Wow.
No Christian Brothers today.
Wow. Kester spent $84.
Yes. Man, somebody don't know how to act when they get money.
Yeah.
No. If he had $84 to spend, he would have been buying this the whole time.
He'd have been spending $84 every Saturday if he had it.
If he had it, he don't. That's why
$336 a month plus tax.
To
Bro,
share with.
Some people don't spend that for their car insurance.
Come on. Exactly. So, to your point, that's what people do. They don't spend that money on anything else. But when it's something that they want to do, oh man, they bougie now, taking horse lessons.
Yeah.
They probably always wanted to take horse lessons. They had the money.
Yeah.
Now they got the money, and they're like, we might as well do it.
Yeah.
They putting their kids in ballet.
They always wanted to do that because they had a resource.
Money, right? Like, so yeah, you're right. You're right on that. You're absolutely right about that.
Because Chuck, think about this. Is what if somebody gave you an endowment, right? They're like, Chuck, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna give you say $1 million, you know, as an endowment for something, right? Mm-hmm. I can almost guarantee, now I can't say that this with absolute certainty, but based on our conversations, I think Chuck might upgrade some of his production equipment. Right? Right.
Yeah.
You feel me, right? Like Chuck. Yeah. Like if I got an endowment, somebody say something to Uncle Freezy about, yo, I got this money that I'm gonna give you. I'm working on a something, right? Something, right? Yeah, I got to do something with it. I'm not just gonna go buy shoes and stuff like that. That's not me. I'm not that guy. When Chuck and I first started doing this show, I went on a binge and spent $100 on Amazon because I bought like 4 pair of sneakers. $100. Remember that, Chuck?
Yes.
Remember the Skips? Remember the Mikeys? Yeah,
I remember them joints.
Yeah. So, I mean, something in production, probably. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
I don't do it now because I just ain't got the bread. You know what I'm saying? I got the bread that I have, the little bit that I have. I have to live a family life with.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So yeah, folks. Get to know yourself. Learn your real likes and dislikes.
Right.
Understand the things that you can handle and the things that you can't. And be honest, be completely honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Because one thing about a math problem, you need all of the variables to get the right answer.
Yeah.
You need all the information to get the correct answer. If you don't have all of the information, you won't get the right answer because you'll always be missing something.
Always.
That's why when folks come to me with situations, I'll be like, hey, is this everything? This is everything that happened. You're not leaving nothing out. Because whatever advice I give you is based on this information. So if you're leaving something out, you need to tell me. Because I don't want you to say, oh, I took your advice, it didn't work. And then there's some major piece of information that you didn't give me. Right. That would have allowed me to adjust my advice to you So my thing is, yo, man, just be honest with yourself. You don't have anything to prove to anybody else. And then once you understand who you are, your likes and your dislikes, truly,
Right.
there's nothing people will be able to say or do to you to move you because you know who you are.
Right.
Man, I'll never let nobody talk like that to me. They don't know me.
Right.
They just saying a bunch of stuff. That ain't me.
Right.
You think the things that they say are me? They ain't about to get upset with somebody that don't know me.
Right. Right. Yeah. No, man. I ain't. Because you know yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, you old punk. Oh, okay. All right, man. You have a good one.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Man, I'll never let nobody, dude. You think I'm a die in a street fight with a dude I don't know?
Right. Over
You think I'm
something,
a
over misunderstanding. I don't even know what we fighting for.
right?
Yeah.
I'm
man.
in jail because I killed somebody
Right.
in self-defense,
Right.
or
Right.
foolish pride. Because pride is a beautiful thing. Pride in your community, pride in the way you look, pride in the way you carry yourself.
Right.
But it's that foolish pride that gets a lot of our young men.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe he said that. Yo, that's the dude that messing with your ex-girl. Yo, I heard he said this about you. And I'm like, yo, y'all gonna kill each other over this?
Over that? Yeah. I don't get it. I don't get it. But you know.
I don't get it either. But it's about time for Tom Thibodeau's rotations, huh?
Yeah, I gotta do Tibbs rotations. I gotta do some other stuff, man. I gotta incorporate this gym.
Okay.
So yeah, I gotta incorporate this gym into everything, man, so that I can, there's that, and then some other stuff. So yeah, man. All right, man. Yo, good Monday, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, have a good day, man. We'll see y'all. See y'all around the way. Chuck, you want to peace them out?
Hey, man, I want to thank everybody for coming through. All of the faithful, vibrant ones that's come through. Some old faces returning again. It's great to see you guys. Everyone have a blessed and prosperous day. We'll be back here tomorrow around about 8:30ish to do the same thing all over again. So follow us on all platforms where Vibes and Stuff has. And we'll see you tomorrow.
All right,
Peace.
y'all. Peace, y'all.